Welcome, everyone, to season 9.75, episode 8. As people pointed out, yes, it's always Alan's fault. He is a dark friend. That is correct. It's always fault. I'm late, and we're late to start live recording. It is always my fault.
Thank you for owning that, Alan.
I do my best. And there's Chris. Cool. Yeah, how's everybody doing tonight?
No, just one. But
just one. Okay.
One and 3/4.
Is that how long it is? I know all of the people that love to comment on our innuendos.
I feel like I'm
right
spending too much time with Alan back to back at the Cosme Reads and the Wheel Reads. Yeah, welcome to my life.
He's entertaining.
I feel like I spend too much time with myself sometimes, just solving myself. So announcements. We do have one new patron, Sam.
Woo! Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, this episode's for you.
Yeah. So welcome to the team. We're glad to have you. I think that's the only new one. I think we did the other ones last week.
It's a good one though, so it's
always a good
it's
one.
all good.
Yeah, was it quick last month? Yeah, so we're good. Or last week. Couple of housekeeping things. Just to get started. The next few weeks are going to be rough. Fun. We're going to be moving around episodes. We're going to be recording on different days. We're going to be skipping weeks. We're going to be doing all sorts of weird stuff. So just letting you know, March is going to be a fun month for us. Next week,
March Madness.
Next week we are not recording. If you can't tell by Chris is not a pack rat, and his bed in the background is because he's packing to move. So he's moving. So we're giving him some time to move because that is stressful. I know because I've done it a million times, even though I haven't done it like in forever because we've been in this house now for.
Even if you don't think you've collected stuff, you have stuff.
You have stuff. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's stuff everywhere.
Just in every room.
Those are empty boxes, man. You ain't ready to move. What are you doing, man?
Those are the boxes I brought in the house about 20 minutes ago to pack.
Okay.
You see that bookshelf?
Mm-hmm.
That is an 8-foot bookshelf. It was full of books.
There you go. That's progress.
Guess who carried all 200 pounds of books down the stairs on a dolly?
Obviously, Chanel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What's left up there are trinket items that have to be high enough for the cats not to get, and then I have to lower so that Chanel can get to them.
Oh wait, I can see myself on his computer screen.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh yeah, I always watch us while we record.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up?
It's a little delay.
Looks
I
delay.
like
Yeah,
it.
there's a delay. Nice.
So anyway,
Cool.
yeah.
So, yeah. So the next few weeks are going to be interesting. But stay tuned. We will start this next wonderful book here, Crossroads of Twilight.
Alan says he's going to do it all in one episode.
We can't.
How much are we doing for the first episode?
The prologue?
Okay. Is it a long one?
Oh yeah. It is that much of the book.
Oh wow.
Okay. At least we got some good reading material.
Yeah. So you got 2 weeks to read it. So
I might be camping this weekend, so that'll
There
be
you go.
good. I like to read pages instead of listening to it.
Yeah. Yep. It's really fun. So that's it. 4 days left to buy JordanCon tickets. If you want to buy them, the last day for buying them is in 4 days. So I think Friday. Yeah. So if you think about going, now is the time. If you don't buy tickets, come hang out in the lobby if you feel like it, because that's like a lot of the fun anyway. Like,
So I
not that-
did the majority of my first JordanCon was just chilling in the lobby.
I like they have all the panels, and last year I went to more panels than I did the first year I went. The first year I went, I just hung out and didn't really do much of the con. Last year,
I was too starstruck.
Hmm.
And before you think it's about other content creators, no, it was getting out of the vehicle, going to the elevator, and it's Jake and Zool.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
I remember
after
that.
all the many, many hours we spent together in that first year,
Yeah,
I was like,
it was fun. But yeah, so we'll be conning it up in April. But yeah, so that's it for announcements. I think personal life. My wife and I went to like a retreat thing this last weekend in Norfolk. That was kind of fun. It was like a marriage couples thing where a bunch of through our church, like a bunch of married couples all go down there, had a speaker, a bunch of stuff, and yeah, it was fun. We got to eat a lot of good food, and no kids. Yeah, there's my in-laws came in town and watched the kids, so
cool.
yeah, no kids. It was fun. But yeah, that's and then we went to watch the marathon on Sunday because the Newport News Marathon was
One city.
the one city. Yeah, my brother ran it.
He didn't
but-
die this year.
Hmm?
He didn't die this year.
No,
Oh no,
near-death
he runs them all the
experience.
time now. Like so, the first time he ever ran it was like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, something like that, and like he almost died. It's
Yeah,
the
I
first
remember.
marathon he ever did. Yeah, and he had a heat stroke and went straight to the hospital, and they thought they had brain damage, like how bad it was.
Yeah.
But no, now he runs marathons all the time. So yeah, no, now
No
it's
biggie.
easy. Now it's no biggie. Yeah, he didn't do this one that fast though, because he just ran. He did the Disney marathon. I think it was like last month. So he's just coming off another marathon. So he would took this one easy.
Did he run the full 26 or?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, when he did the Disney one, he did the half marathon the day before, and then he did the marathon. He did the half marathon as a warm up the day before.
Wow.
And then did a marathon the next day. So yeah, he's really into it. That's his thing. He runs. I don't. That's his thing now.
I've got to get back into it.
Yeah, he likes to run. He likes to run a lot, but
You have back problems.
he went slow. Yeah, he went slow. Yeah, for 26 miles, though, if you have back problems, it's gonna be rough. If you want to do like 5Ks, it's one thing, but
Yeah.
marathons are tough. But it's a lot of wear and tear. But yeah, so we went to go support them, cheer them on. Woo, kids had fun, and then
Nice.
that was my weekend. So
Cool.
yeah,
Ian?
Awesome. Let's see. Final basketball. Rivers group, the older kids, they won their game. And we almost loaned players to the other team because they didn't have enough to sub and they were struggling. But then they had another player show up and gave me a chance to put the ball in the hands of people that haven't touched the ball too much this season. Everybody got a chance to score. Pretty cool. The younger kids, they lost. And, you know, I've talked before about some dicey games earlier in the season. It might have played into their mentality, but they mentally quit in the middle of the game. except for two of the players, Ronan and this kid Henry were the only ones that, I mean, they love it so much. They just go hard 100% all the time. Love it. But the rest of them, and you know what gets me? I have no way of relating to this. They quit like mentally, like they were walking back on a defense. They were like complaining about everything. They were pointing out like to the other teammates what they were doing wrong and not fixing themselves. When the game was tied, it was a good game, like really competitive. The other team was really good, but we were hanging in there back and forth. You know, I've never, like, when it's close, that's when I play my hardest.
Yeah. Did you read these chapters before the game or after the game? Did you give him like the land speech?
After.
Like, you surrender when you're dead.
Yeah. You rest when you're dead. No, one of the parents actually kind of angrily came behind the bench and like looked at me and it's like, it's the last game. Why isn't my son playing? I was like, because he stopped. I don't know if you're watching this. He stopped playing a whole quarter ago. Until he tells me he's going to go out there and play hard, he's just going to sit there. And well, with the Y, you're supposed to give everybody even playing time no matter what. But home, we don't play that. Like there's certain lines you cross, and I'm like, I have you go out there and bring everybody else down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, luckily the dad didn't flip out after that. He just looked at his son and was like, get it together. But I put him back in. And again, his son was walking back to defense. I looked at his dad and I went, and his dad looked back at me and he was like, he just shook his head and was like, all right. Yeah.
I feel you.
Pulled him out again. Yeah. But Ronan is 8 and he played in the 9 and 10 age group. So he could play with Evan. And Ronan has been a beast on defense. This kid just does not give up. Had a few shots throughout the season, but didn't make any until the last game. He went up, ripped a rebound out of some kid's hand that was like a foot taller than him, turned around, did a fadeaway, threw it up, nothing but net. I was like,
oh, that's the one shot that you gotta make.
Right?
Beast moding, like,
yep,
automatic.
The way he went after that rebound, you could see the thought process. He was like, last game, I'm getting a basket or I'm getting thrown out of this game. Like, give me that ball. You'll see the look on the other kid's face, like, did not expect this little dude to be scrapping like that. Like, have your 2 points, awesome, buddy. That was good. So it was a good weekend. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Chris, how's moving going?
We decided where we're moving.
Oh, nice. You got a place to stay. You're not going to be homeless. That's awesome.
No, yeah, we're not going to be homeless because that was a concern for a little while after getting ourselves kicked out. It was like, all right, we got 30 days to find a place that we like and close.
Okay. And are you still in Charlotte proper, or are you outside in the
We're going to Mid Hill. So it's literally, it's weird. Charlotte's weird, but you know, it's on the pie. So you have the center here, and then we're up here, but now we're going to kind of come around here, but it's more coming around and in. So
like
even
kind of South Middleburg.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be closer to like the center. So closer to all the cool stuff, but it's still very much like Newport News. Like you can get to all the stores you want within like 7 to 10 minutes. And it's very like you can drive one way and you're in country, one way you're in city within like 10 minutes. It's really great. I'm loving it. And then the traffic is so much better and people are polite and like, damn, why didn't we find this years ago? I'm like, I may have found my settle spot. And then it's 20 minutes from my current branch. Okay. 25 minutes from my current branch, 20 minutes from the branch I'm looking to transfer to.
Okay.
And I have a video recording interview for that I have to do at some point in time in the very near future. And it's also like, it's just in a perfect, like 23 minutes from the in-laws. So
describe yourself in one word. Hired.
Beast. Oh, hired. I like that. Boom. I'm using it. If that is the prompt, it's true. I already work for you. Like hired. Done. I've already talked to the manager. She already wants me there. I've already been to her branch. I've already beast moded there. Like, and
my brother, when he was interviewing for med school, for his what's it called, residency.
Yeah.
Like one of the questions one of the people asked, because he's a doctor, was what's your biggest weakness? And when he was going to the interview, he had like a horrible cold, so he just goes the common cold. He's like,
Yeah,
it's my weakness, man.
that's good. What's your weakness? Honesty. I don't think that's a weakness. I don't give a what you think.
Honesty. No, and then I actually got an email today that I have another interview tomorrow, a phone interview for the leadership development program. So I went for it. I applied for everything last week.
Okay, cool,
good.
And
I like
got
it.
an interview for everything. So I'm like,
awesome.
Give me more money.
That's it.
Yeah, whenever we go to Charlotte, we always stay with the friends that live in Gastonia. So it's like up to
like
the
Gastonia.
west a little bit. Yeah, it's nice out there. Little suburbs.
A little bit further away than Chanel wants to be. So
yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a drive into the city from Gastonia, but you get nice houses, and
they're cheaper.
Yeah, that too. So, fun time.
Oh, I am refinancing the condo that I just bought, and with the VA streamline refinancing, they're getting me in under 6%.
That's awesome.
I don't even know how. I think they're breaking some laws. And I was like, how much you charge me for that? They're like, no, not much. The VA streamline is really good right now. I was like, okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, where do I sign?
Exactly.
So,
sounds good.
It's free money.
Yeah, let's talk books then. Yeah, let's do it. So we'll talk about some books. At least one book in particular. The End of a New Spring. I'm gonna be sad about leaving 9.75. And before we get into this, final thoughts on this book. I know we usually do that at the very end, but isn't it kind of bummer that this is all like we don't get more of this? Because like it finally gets to the point like where it's.
I was gonna say, let's
Cat
start
Swain
at the
is
finish.
probably a dark friend. What?
Ooh, yeah, we'll get there.
What?
It's possible. You know what makes it more sad, Alan? And maybe you are a dark friend for doing this because you talked a lot early on where we could put New Spring, and well, I firmly believe that Moraine is coming back. There's also the chance that she doesn't, and we just said goodbye to her again. So screw you.
Yeah.
But I am more convinced that Lan is gonna die in this ultimate fight.
And you kind of understand it now is that the reason why I'm a big fan of putting New Spring here when you read the series for the first time versus a lot of people say after book 5, I think it's better here. And the reason being is because if you meet Cat Swain here versus Cat Swain in the regular series, I don't know
if it's going to taint you.
Yeah. And I just, that's the big pivotal thing for me is that.
Yeah. Well, because now I'm confused.
Well, we've always known that about you. I mean, Chanel's a beautiful bride, but still there's questions.
I mean, she's a confused one.
The way you hold on to those hugs. I mean, I know I'd be holding them hugs too, but
Chanel's a confused one. I'm very comfortable.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, it's okay. I enjoy my hugs.
I do miss your hugs though, on that note. So maybe it's me.
April, maybe.
It's better. So again, Cat Swain. I confused. I don't know. In my mind, after the end of the last book, Cat Swain is like thebomb.com, right?
Yep.
And then we read this. I'm still like Cat Swain's thebomb.com, but she's been around for a real long time. And we haven't really seen any big measures of power from her. She's got her reserves in her hair. We know that from the last book. So we know she has, a lot of on-hand power that she can tap into quick, but that doesn't mean she's necessarily like strong. But she's got all this longevity and she's snappy and she's quick-witted and ready to go, and everybody kind of just listens to what she has to say. And she's in a position to manipulate a lot of things. So I'm like, man, did I miss something? Especially after this. Why would Cat Swain call on what's her face, knowing that? I mean, just feel like they could both be dark friends now. I didn't have that doubt.
if mature Moraine met Cat Swain and had her intuition told her she was a dark friend, I would trust that more. But I don't know how in tune with that young Moraine is. If Lan had more of a chance to interact with Cat Swain and was like co-signing that, yeah, something's off with her, then I would definitely feel I'd lean more towards, yeah, dark friend. But I don't. Yeah. There's
Cat is the bomb.sus.
All right, so apparently she blows something up. There's a little nugget in there. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It could all be a Moraine, but anyway, go ahead, Alan. Get us on track. Where are we going?
Yeah, let's do this show.
Chapter 23, the Evening Star. So now that Moraine's on her own, she's left land. She begins searching for Swan. She starts in the poorest part of the city, knowing that's kind of where Swan tends to hang out. So she starts going to all the inns. I mean, that's it. I mean, she comes from a more rough upbringing, so she's more comfortable amongst the peoples. So she starts going to each inn, asking, after a young blue-eyed, Tarian woman. And after she leaves the first inn, she sees a girl trying to steal a horse. Rain's like, man, I ain't really in the ghetto. It's like you go to the ghetto and you leave your car unlocked.
Don't do that.
You walk out and like someone's like jiggling the hand, like, oh man.
If the streets are named after trees or numbers, lock your door. Hide your children.
The trees, especially if they're not streets, if they're avenues named after.
Get away.
Right.
Get away. I thought that interaction was pretty funny. She's like, no, that's not going to work. The girl's like, well, who are you? Like, you can stop me from taking it. And Moraine's like, I can, though. Like, just.
I can, and I'm going to. So.
Yeah. And she ties some wards around her horse just to make sure, puts that
low jack system.
Yeah, the low to her horse. Beep beep. All right, we're good to go.
I didn't even think of that. That's ridiculous. But yeah,
she's pretty much what she does.
Call that horse Kia.
How much horsepower you got in that horse? One horse. Power.
Yeah. So in the third inn, the innkeeper replies that there's indeed a Tarian woman staying in her inn.
Her horse name is Bella.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good old Bella. Do we need to do it? I mean, Bella's not.
Bella.
Shout out to the puppets. Yeah, the Way of the Leaf, that is not ours. It is the Way of the Leaf. I have to say it every time that I play it because we have to give all the praise to Brother Dan and Ryan.
They deserve the praise even without that.
Oh yeah,
they're praise
amazing people.
Fantastic people.
And I can't wait to hang out with them again. Just because they're fun.
Also, great hug givers.
They are good huggers.
Oh, phenomenal, because they're skinny and tall, so the arms just keep going around you.
Right. That full wrap.
I've never felt a man be able to wrap to cross his hands behind me. I'm like, whoa, what is this feeling?
You got all of me.
You're giving away too much about the puppets, man. People don't actually see the the people behind the puppets at first.
The puppets are humongous.
Good Jordan Con, you get to meet them actually, because they don't wear. Actually, they have life-size puppet costumes that they wear.
Right. They'll probably start with that. It's great.
Which is hilarious. So yeah. So they get to this inn. It says, "Yeah, there's a woman you're describing staying here. How about you just have some of this wine and
So here, sweetie, have some wine, have a seat. We'll get it. She'll be in soon. She just walked out. She'll be back in a little bit." Moraine's like,
Moraine takes it and goes, "Wait, no one can afford wine in the ghetto. Like,
this ain't malt liquor.
This is real wine. Sus.
This is sus. How you got real wine?
Did you really just say you got Dom Perignon down here?"
It's like walking into a party where they got a couple kegs of Natty Light and you don't know nobody there, and they hand you some Hennessy. They're like, "I got you. Take a little sip of this." And you're like, "Oh yeah, sweet. Wait a minute.
So she accepts it, but then she gets suspicious. So she uses one of the secret weaves to inspire fear, and turns around and makes the innkeepers. How about you drink it first? And she does without even realizing what she's doing. And suddenly she's like, "Oh crap!" and drops the cup. Tries to run, but only makes it 3 feet before she falls to the floor. She's like,
yeah. Moraine's like, "So you want to do this to me, huh? Huh?
Yeah."
She was like, "All right, boys, have fun."
Yeah.
She threw up the deuces as she walked out.
Yeah. And
Good catch by Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this younger version of her, I wouldn't have pegged to be able to figure that out. You know, she did seem a little naive in other situations, but in this one, she nails. You know, so I don't know.
I think it's like she's playing the game right now. Like Days de Mars is like when she's in the game, she's thinking strategically.
Yeah, she's in the zone.
Yeah, she's in that zone, and she's good at the game. She knows what she's doing.
This is
and
true.
when she's observing, she's like, "Wait a second. So they don't have wine over there. They don't have wine over there.
I'm the only one being greeted with a cup of wine.
I'm the only one being greeted with a cup of wine, and these men are trying to see if I'm gonna take this wine. Why would these men be interested in me taking this wine?"
Yeah, I mean, good on her.
Good, yeah.
Yep, she put it together.
And then she again the naivety of it all, or naivety, whatever, is how she just like left. She left that woman, mind you, to her own demise, because she's the one that created the potion.
Right. It should have clicked. There is an active, at best, kidnapping or robbery, at worst, murder attempt. Right.
Yeah.
And there's probably a team of people, so she wasn't the only one.
You'll need both your kidneys.
Well, and that's the thing. So, and for me, I didn't go that route. I went the other route, which is you got a bunch of grinning men. You got a woman whose skirts were kind of like up around her legs as she fell. That point was made in the book.
Yeah.
So this was like a
I didn't even think of
trafficking.
Yeah.
So she was probably going to take Moraine and sell her around the bar and then sell her for a profit. So, and Moraine ran into this in other places.
But I didn't even think about the trafficking angle. But yeah.
I mean, this is like 101. This is what people do. Slip you a key, and next thing you know, you're in the back of a van.
Yeah, I've been in countries where close calls and things like that, where it's very, very prevalent. So you have to be very careful at all times. Even if you're man, female, doesn't matter. Like, no, they'll try to rob you or steal your kidneys, all sorts of things. I mean, I'm laughing, but laughing out of nervousness because, there are places in the world that are very sketchy, and people do drug other people. We were at a bar in a really rough area in Southeast Asia, and one of the guys we were with, he didn't leave his drink the entire time, so it had to be the bartender that did it, which means that the bar was in on it, which
organized.
It's all organized. But took 2 sips of his drink and started to black out, and we hadn't started drinking yet. We showed up right after he ordered, a little late, and we were able to get him out of there.
Man,
but he
disappeared.
He was out cold within a couple minutes, but he started like slipping. We were just like, we grabbed him and like pulled him out of the bar and like threw him like in the back of a car, and like it looked like we were kidnapping him. We're like, no, we're taking him to safety. So,
but yeah, and then she runs into this experience a few times, and all of a sudden she's grabbed from behind, and she looks, and it's her lover. I mean, her friend,
her pillow friend.
Yep.
Has been with you for a long time.
Yeah, but this is happening. This is happening everywhere. We kind of glossed over that. Like 3 more times it happens to her.
Yes.
Like when people offer her wine and she's like, nope, not today.
Is she in San Chico? I'm kidding.
Not today. But yeah, so finally, as the sun's setting, Swan finds her, leads her back to her end, and surprisingly has a respectable inn named the
She's like, you paid money? What?
Yeah.
I can't believe you paid money.
Yeah.
She was looking out for her friend. She's like, I figured you would want to come to one of these type of places, not be down there. That's more my style. She's like, where did you think I go looking for you?
Yeah.
Aw.
And yeah. So they go up to Swan's room, and Moraine's like, "So tell me the lowdown. What's been going on?" And she's like, "Yeah. So Ines, is it Demon is the woman that they've been searching for in Chachen, is mourning her dead husband. Pretty much like it looks like another dead end for the most part.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be a big problem, except that she is in the palace. So they're like, okay, well, we have to get to the palace then, I guess. And Moraine comes to the plan for Swan that Swan heartily disapproves of.
I mean, in this moment, Chris, aren't you like getting excited that clearly her and Lan are just about to
Merge again.
Mhm.
Yep. The pattern is getting them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Neither one of them really have a choice. They should have named this chapter Choices or the next
Choices.
one. Yeah.
Now, there was an interesting moment that I picked out that I may have read into.
Okay. Go on.
It's way, way, way ahead of time
Oh, we're in later
Right.
chapters?
in later chapters, so I'll wait.
Oh, okay.
I just want to keep reminding myself that
Okay.
there's an interesting moment.
Okay.
Continue.
Well, let's go to anything from this chapter before we move to chapter 24.
Nah, that was it.
Okay. Making use of invisibility. So the next morning, Moraine and Swan, they go to the banker. So Moraine can exchange one of her letters of rights, and then they go shopping because
Well, and again, the innkeeper's like, if you're just gonna be out here gallivanting around, I'm not gonna let you use any of my peoples.
Mhm.
And Moraine's like, excuse you, I have things to handle here. I need to go to a bank.
Got some
So she went
business.
to her banker, which was, she probably got a little cut of that. Yeah, sure, I got a banker. Go over here.
Yeah.
Just, go on over there.
Get a here, banker. Yeah. Back when bankers used to be all handshakes and
Back when bankers got some of that money, they charged her a nice little fee, a conversion fee,
Get
and
some tips.
Every
Shave
now
the
and
edges off the coins. You know?
until Wall Street bought all the banks and just said like, nope, you're doing it our way. Which did happen in the 90s, by the way. If you're familiar with American business history, Wall Street bought all the banks, at least all the shares of them. So even though they don't physically own the banks, the hedge funds are the banks.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like all the big banks are owned by the hedge
And a
funds.
very high percentage of single family homes in the United States. Isn't it like 60% now or something?
Yeah, BlackRock owns like 60%.
It's a lot.
Yeah, good old BlackRock. If you want to get down a rabbit hole, go Google BlackRock.
Yeah, I stopped talking there.
I got a Black Rock.
I'm gonna. Yeah, we still have credit unions. That's a good point. We still have credit unions. But yeah, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of some really shittiness, I can't say too much. I'll be
Google
disappeared.
The Black Rock.
Follow the money. Always follow the money. So they go to the dressmaker, order some clothes. 2 days after Moraine arrives in Chachen, she shows up at the palace at this point. Back to being Lady Moraine of Kyrian, because she's back to using a royal title.
Gotta flex that to get in.
Yeah, flex that to get in. Is there an Iron Bank in Randland? Yeah. Game of Thrones. Her plan is to use her real identity to get into the Aes Dishar Palace and speak with Ines, and then get out of the palace before any other Aes Sedai learn she's there. That's the plan.
And isn't she asking around if there's other Aes Sedai there
Mm-hmm.
when she goes in? Are
Yeah.
there yet?
Yeah.
So she's definitely trying to keep her cover, but she had to get rid of her cover to get entry here. So she's walking
Right.
that fine line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Swan, of course, is sitting here like, well, you're gonna handle things your way. I'm gonna do things my way. We're gonna meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
No, that guy right there with the footstool, he looks fine.
I'll get in that way. Show a little ankle and
a little bit of neck.
Anyway,
the right pair of ankles, man.
Yeah, there you go.
I've burned fortunes.
There's some truth to that, though.
Yeah. So Swan's dressed as Moraine's maid, so she can dig around for more information without being suspicious. They soon find that Ennis is in seclusion, seeing no one except for close family, and which means Moraine's plan of just being nobility probably won't work. So that's when they start coming up.
And this is, of course, after that Moraine finds out that Lan is also a king.
Oh yeah, this is around the top. Yeah.
She overhears it. She's like, "What?"
Well, and it first happens when she gets her dresses made. She's like, "Yeah, I need dresses made." Well, you're gonna take a back seat. Well, I'm gonna give you 30 coins, and I'm gonna give you 30 more when I'm done. I'm gonna take 6 away for every day that you're late. Oh, okay. Well, I have them done for you tomorrow, boss. And yeah, but the king's in town, the king of Manethrin, so everybody wants dresses because all the women want to attract his attention.
Right.
Moraine's like, what? No.
He died
25 years ago. I hadn't been to one since.
Although he's going to be ugly when he gets old, so I don't know what they're excited about.
So Moraine decides to maybe play a different angle, and she decides maybe she will try to go find an Aes Sedai. And Swan's like, I think that's a bad idea. And Moraine's like, yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. And that's when Swan's like, yeah, I'm going to go maybe check out this footman over here, see if he'll,
I'm going to stay undercover.
Yeah. Because they have to find out if Ennis' son is the Dragon Reborn. So that's why they're, there was important things. So it doesn't matter if they blow their cover or not.
And I meant Malkir. Sorry, guys. I know I said the wrong end.
Yeah. And, Swan tells Moraine that the Shaitana is waiting. Was it the Shatana?
Sure.
Shatana.
That thing.
The
work for BlackRock.
Yeah.
He's back to that.
They got jobs in Charlotte.
They do, yeah. They 100% do. They have jobs everywhere. They own half of Charlotte. Come on.
You can own me.
Yeah.
You probably already do somehow.
I can be bought. So the person that I guess what is it? Her name, Mistress Romero or something like that. That's who is waiting for Moraine. Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of
here we go.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Do you think any of this plan is going to work out? Well, we already know, but at the time of reading this, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're going at it from two directions. I mean, I can't see value in both of them popping in as, hey, we're Aes Sedai and trying to power through. Was
it this chapter, in the last chapter, where they started talking about the Black Aja, or was it next chapter?
No, it's coming up.
It's coming up. Yeah. Okay, next chapter. Okay.
It's like briefly mentioned and then it really hits home. So here's my thought process. Like, she went in not only as, a noble of a major home, but a noble that just started and helped to end a war.
Mm-hmm.
And though she herself did not, her name did. So that level of notoriety was going to give her entrance into whatever area she wanted. But still, she's overlooked by the fact that the king of Malkir is there. So it was very sly of her to go ahead and use, the best lies are rooted in a little bit of truth. And I think that kind of goes in the concept of when you're trying to be sneaky, the more conspicuous you are, the more inconspicuous you can be. Yeah. Like when we used to steal from 7-Eleven, we didn't try to sneak into 7-Eleven and steal candy and sneak out. No, we walked in.
Still go buy a little something.
Yeah, you walk in, you talk to the owner, you have that good conversation. You walk up and down the aisles, you grab a couple items, you throw some in your bag, you walk back up, like you said, you buy one king candy bar, you got 3 free, you get that hot dog.
Actually, I have a video of Ian and I shoplifting.
Don't be suspicious. 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 Don't be suspicious.
That is, you didn't get immediate denial from me. My look was, wait,
Shit,
that's
what
on tape?
video? That was my immediate thought too. I thought y'all were smart.
Yeah, we were. Look, for us to get stuff on video, we're just old enough. Alan would have had to go in there with his big ass, his parents' camcorder on his shoulder. All right, Ian, get him.
Oh, like the one we shot all our videos with. The videos that when you hit me with the car. That was great. We did a political campaign ad, and Ian, I was giving a speech on the street, and for late 90s video editing technology, it was fantastic. Like we
ran him over
because we did this with like old VCR footage. So I was giving a speech, and it went like just cut it and slicing the actual film.
It was rough.
And like we did like back and forth between like inside the car and me staying on the street and like me turning and looking, and then we threw a dummy in there and cut and splice it right as the dummy looks like it's standing up and the car hits the dummy.
It looked just like him, same clothes and everything.
Same clothes, and then the head popped off and rolled up the windshield.
It was so good.
It was our senior government project. Our teacher looked at it and goes, "We're not going to show this in class, but you get an A for effort."
Right? He was like, if we show this in class, you'll probably get suspended. But I see you put the work in, so you have an A.
I'll give you an A.
But I don't want you to talk about it. Don't even tell anybody.
Don't even talk about we made this video, but I'm giving you an A.
He's like, that's what I do want to do to all the politicians.
That's great. Oh man, that was such a great video. So I think you can find that somewhere. I don't have VCR to watch it, but it's somewhere at parents' house in the attic or something. It exists somewhere. We need to put that on YouTube. No, we don't.
Was there a section where like your younger brother and his friends were there, and I walked up or whatever, just started pushing them around and stealing candy from them?
No, so the first part was like I was giving my speech, and my little brother runs up to me and is like, "Hey, can I have a piece of candy?" I'm like, "Here's a candy bar for you, kid." And then like you're giving a speech, and the guy's like, "Hey, can I have a candy bar?" I was like, "Shut up, kid!" And you push him over, take the candy bar, take a bite out of it. Oh, that was great, fantastic. This is classic 90s film. So guys, ready for the next chapter? Chapter 25. Answer. So Moraine leaves the room, led by Mistress Romana, to see Prince Breeze. On the way, she sees Bukama and Rhine practicing fight in the courtyard. And she thinks now she will have to avoid them and land at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So at this point, she meets and spends some time with Breeze and the family members. She learns here that Lan is actually the king of Malkir, actually confirmed rather than
if he wants to be king.
If he wants to be king.
Yeah.
And she's pretty shocked by all that. Yeah. Yep. And then at this point, she pretends to be unwell and is led back to her rooms by a servant girl named.
She didn't pretend to be. She's kind of turned a little white and pale, and everybody's like, "Oh, you must not be feeling well." She's like, "Yeah." So she kind of took advantage of a moment because here she thought that Lan definitely was a lesser person, and she misjudged him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that there was, this, opportunity that she truly missed out on, kind of dawned on her.
Mm-hmm.
And there's got to be a little embarrassment there too, because part of her wanting to go like recluse, just go to her room and stay there for the remainder of her time, it's like she doesn't want to run into land, or maybe she needs time to process what she's going to do with this, but she also feels bad about everything. It's kind of hitting her.
Yeah. So on the way back to her, I guess, lodging.
Or how about this? Wait, time out. At what point, or did this click, how similar their storylines are? You know, they both could, if they chose, they both could go sit on the throne. They could become the leader of their people. But for different reasons, obviously, they have in their mind this greater mission. There's a little bit of shame. There's a little bit of feeling, you know, can't do that, shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But they got this bigger mission that they got to accomplish. I think that's part of, like, as these chapters unfold, we don't get this part of her thought process, but I think that's part of what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, completely agree.
Right. So on her way back, she runs into Marine, another Aes Sedai.
Who's by herself?
Marine.
Who's by herself?
Who's by herself? Yep.
She's not supposed to be.
Yeah. And they
I
exchange
ain't supposed to be there.
Yeah. They exchange a few words, and this is where Illis, the servant girl, realizes that Moraine is actually Aes Sedai. And Moraine turns and commands her to take her to Lan's apartments instead. And Illis obeys.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't quite like piece out how she pieced together that homegirl must be a dark. I guess it's just because the other one wasn't with her and Catswain was very insistent on them traveling together.
Yeah.
Well, her and Swan had discussed Black Aja briefly
Just
before.
like before, yeah.
And then they talked, they didn't say the conclusion, but they talked about how all these people were doing this mission and they all died. And then that might also be why the last Amberlin died, probably. And right, so they're already in the trust no one.
And then they're going out,
got to be doing this.
And Black Aja's killing families and kids and stuff like that too. Like, and
right,
they're hunting. They figure that they're going to run into any Aes Sedai following the same path as them is probably
on the list of suspects.
Yeah, and that's why they also think Catswain is possibly Black Aja, because they're like, these people are sus.
Yep. But you ever have those moments where your inner thoughts, your subconscious, they seem to process stuff way faster than your conscious mind? Seconds ago, Moraine was still thinking how she needs to do everything she can to avoid Lan. When she runs into this Aes Sedai, that she's thinking, okay, this is either Black Aja or still just bad juju. And she thinks something might go down. Her one and only thought, it wasn't even let me go find Swan. It was, I need to go directly to Lan. Like, in her subconscious already decided that probably that's going to be my warder. But at the very least, in this moment, I can't fight this fight by myself. I need that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, and she could already tell that he had a guard up or a block against the one power because she couldn't really get in his mind without him knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's something special about him. Well, and then this whole luck thing that we'll talk about that some more, but I still don't even know for certain what all that means. But
I'll tell you exactly what it means or what it meant to me.
That he's a channeler?
Boom. Done.
That Lan channel?
That there is the potential that there's the spark, because what we're gonna skip ahead because I just can't help it anymore.
Okay.
That we know it connected the others, which was their ability to channel. Because I thought it was either Taviran or channel.
Ashaman Lan.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, they were the luckiest people.
Yeah.
And they were surviving things they shouldn't have survived.
Sure.
So either they're Taviran or they can channel. And Lan definitely had his fair moments of like potential deaths and killing 6 men. And so it's either the pattern or he's Taviran or has Taviran like qualities, or the pattern has a greater idea for him. So I had to keep saving him over and over again. Or to some level, he can control the one
where
power.
There's a spark.
Maybe just enough to keep him from dying.
Yeah, I was leaning more towards a dash of channeling or having that spark or maybe that ability. So maybe if he ever had the opportunity to pursue that, he'd find out that he could.
Yep.
But the Taviran thing's interesting. Then it makes you wonder. So a couple things could be happening here. maybe there are gradations to Taviran-ness. There's subsections of it, and he's not like full-blown Taviran. Or maybe Moraine recognizes it in him, but she doesn't have that. You know, there's some people, it's their part of their gift that they can look and go, oh, look, a Taviran. Well, she doesn't have that, but she's put enough pieces together to recognize he's Taviran. And maybe when they eventually bond, she finds a way to mask that. So later when Lan's around other people that can sense it, they're not able to.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she hides him as a Taviran. Ooh, undercover Taviran.
Yeah. Also, I think Lan also follows the way that Aiel. I think back to Rourke, and that old quote that he gave, like, death is the enemy to the young, but to the old, death is a friend.
Yeah.
So it's an old lover. Just one you're not eager to meet, but you've accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody said Taviran for a time, but there is no time. Come on now.
At times, just a construct.
Always.
It's the manipulation of gravity. Or is gravity the manipulation of time? I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
But,
She gets into Lan's room, bursting in the doors. He's booty naked. I mean, he's practicing with his sword. He grounds to a halt and looks at her, and she can't help but staring down his sword.
Yep.
That's right.
And he's like, I don't want you here.
Was this a lowercase S word or capital S word? Was it his sword or his sword?
His sword.
Because she did go into the inner chambers. She went into the 1st set and was like, is he here? And they were like, all right. And then she busted up in the private.
He was holding his black
chambers.
rock.
Yeah. So,
I'm gonna name his sword. He says the hilt was black. You know, it's steel.
No,
steel, steel
he
is metal.
described it.
Comes from rock. I mean,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, black rock.
Yeah. And Moraine just immediately goes in like, listen, I'm Aes Sedai. I need you to help me. He's like, I work for no Aes Sedai. You've got to
How
kid
lovely
me.
was this? Don't breeze through this, Alan.
I'm not breezing through it.
She hit him with facts. She gave him at least 99% of like what he truly needed to know in that moment for making that decision. She
Right.
communicated. Now she was
Right.
desperate. She
Sure.
knows she was about to go up against somebody that could unlive her. Right?
Right. I mean, it's just
great
about to get
communication.
that. Lan asked the question. It's like, no Aes Sedai's ever been able to answer this. Why did you not come to, every time that the White Tower called upon Malkir, we sent soldiers to you. And the one time we needed you, where were you?
And I did not expect this answer. I thought it was going to be for political reasons we didn't go. But how effed up is this? No, we went. We just didn't make it in time.
Yeah.
And we could not let the world know that.
No, that we lost.
That we failed. That we tried and failed.
Right.
Yeah.
So we just buried this under the rug that we never just.
Correct.
But then that throws me off. Like when we started learning about Aes Sedai, part of the problem is they were so full of themselves. And I'm like, man, y'all gonna mess up because you're so full of yourself. But they have examples like this to know that they can't do everything and they have limitations, but they don't learn from that. They're still cocky as shit. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's why it's all falling apart. They get infiltrated by Black Aja.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They struggling. Somehow
Right.
Elida's in charge. I mean, come on. Like, you got to know you done did messed up at that point.
Yeah, I think the exact quote: when Malkir died, the Shinarans and the Airfell sent men. They could not stop the flow of Trollocs and Myrtle that came. Men from Kandor and even Saldea, they came too late, but they still came. For 900 years, we rode for the White Tower when the White Tower called. But where was the tower when Malkir died? If you are Aes Sedai, answer me that. Yeah, that's the quote. And she
Locked
said,
up.
we sent 100 sisters, but we can't fly. And
They probably stopped to buy dresses and shit and showed up late. I don't like this riding dress. Let's get some made.
yeah,
So that I'm wondering now, and maybe you hinted at this when they early on, Eye of the World, when they went to Shinara, and like like they were welcomed for sure, but it was a little tense. And there was discussion of the alliance between the White Tower and the Shinerans. Was that a ripple effect of them not showing up for Malkir? I would think so.
I think a lot of it stems from that kind of stuff.
Gotta
Right.
be.
The blight
Like,
feels
yeah, we're
they've
still
been
with
shot.
you because we're fighting for the same side against the same enemy, but I need to hear you say that we're still is this
Fighting
still
for
a
the
thing?
Same thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So after he gives the answer, or she gives the answer to Lan, he accepts the answer. His face changes from a little softened. It's still hard. It's still Lan. That's still stoic and a stone.
He reads
But
people well though, and he knows
Mhm.
she
He
was
does.
honest.
yeah. And Marine's even surprised that she's telling the truth to him anyway, kind of thing. But during all this, and he turns and says, "Okay, what were you asking me?" And she's like, "I need someone to watch another Aes Sedai for me, and note where she goes and who she meets with." And Lan's like, "Sure." It's like, "No, not you. I don't want you to do it because you're king. You're too obvious. They'll be looking for you if you're just sitting there following her around.
Yeah.
Get
Need someone
Bakuma
that can snoop.
that can snoop. Get Bakuma to do it. Bakuma.
By the way, I'm glad I
You're right.
gave him his shout out last week, his favorite character, because
Oh, don't do it. Oh.
Yeah. So they agree that Bakuma will watch Marine, and report to Moraine's mate Swan, or Suki, as they're calling her.
oh, Suki now.
Suki. So when Marine returns to her rooms, she finds Izelle there. I guess the princess or whatever. Yeah, and she's like, "I
Most
demand
importantly,
to
Land
go to
was
the
there.
White Tower right now because I'm important and I have the ability to channel." And Marine's like, "We'll see about that." It's like, "No, I've already been tested. I know, and you will take me there." And she's like, "I will take you nowhere." Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not gonna take you do shit for you. Like,
I'm surprised Moraine didn't snap more considering everything that's going on.
yeah,
Like, because this is definitely one of those moments of like, all right, even if nothing else was going on, I would be annoyed with this conversation. With everything happening, like, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah. And then after she leaves, Moraine tells
Brain dump.
what?
I said Moraine does her brain dump.
Yeah, Marine tells Swan that Bakuma will be watching Marine, and Swan is a little upset that Marine's taking all these risks. Like, listen, we gotta be sneaky. These people are killing Aes Sedai and killing people. Like, you can't just be putting people at risk like that. Swan
yeah,
tells
but you
Marine,
can't do nothing.
yeah,
Right.
Remember, they're actively trying to take you out and anybody that could possibly be the Dragon Reborn.
and Swan says, "Oh
So,
yeah,
so if
we
you're
got-
not actively doing something, you're
Yeah.
just going to fall into their trap eventually."
yeah." But Swan does think back, and she's like, "Oh yeah, the old guy did come up to me, and he told me that to let you know that Marine has been spending most of the day with Breeze." Like, he's like, "I thought that was a little odd, but yeah, well, I guess this makes sense now why he told me that."
Oh, and that's when they connect the dots. Wait,
Mhm.
1 + 1 - 2 carry the. Oh shit!
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Swan tells Moraine that she's learned from Cal that Ennis' son was born the day after the foretelling. The dead-end, making him never mind, making it even more likely to be the Dragon Reborn. Not necessarily dead-end. I think at this point they think he might be actually. Swan also informs Moraine that she'll be moving in with Ennis' servants to try to infiltrate that way.
Undercover.
And she has led Cal to believe that she has been dismissed from Marine services for spilling wine on her. Yes. I think Ian went dead.
Yeah,
I was pulling a Chris.
I know.
Let's take a little nap. I love you.
It's been a long time.
My favorite part is when you do that and then you'll pop up and chime in with an on point, succinct argument, and then you'll lean back and go, "Yeah, He's back.
Too funny.
He's gone. He's up. He's down.
It's too funny. And that's how we end this chapter.
It's about to go down.
On to the last chapter for the
Well,
epilogue.
so for this chapter, though, for the end, I really wish Moraine would have been a little bit more transparent
Okay.
with Lan.
Communication in the wheel of time?
We had it, then we lost it.
Mhm.
We did, and you know, I have more. This is the immature Moraine, so I still had more hope for her, though. I thought she would at least give Land a little bit more of indication, like this is not just important, but also potentially life-threatening. Because Land got the fact that it was important and that, you know, had to be choosy on who he put on the task.
Mm.
But there was never any indication that death could be the result. So I want to put Bukama's death.
I think
It's a good thing you can't hear me when I lean back. I want to, you know, I think a little bit of what Moraine feels is, and I'm skipping way ahead, a little bit of what Moraine feels is for Bukama just as much as it is anybody else.
Mhm.
yeah. I
Because that's on her.
Yeah. Even though she's young, here's the thing. So right now they're developing a plan, but as they're developing it, they're already in action. Everything is happening. It's not like they're planning it at this end over here to eventually in 2 weeks go over here and execute the plan.
Mhm.
In that situation, you have all the time in the world to go through all the details with everybody that deserves to know. When you're in it, you have to give enough to it's about to go down. You have to give enough information to get the buy-in, but it's more important to select the right people for the job.
Mhm.
I think in going to Land and also it being Bukama, these guys know that every time they're awake, walking, breathing, sleeping, even, like, their life is always in danger.
Mhm.
These guys don't relax unless one or the other is guarding them while they sleep, you know? So I think she picked the right people to do this, while not necessarily giving them all the, like, if she would have leaned in Land and said, by the way, this is super dangerous, you might die, Land would probably have been like, the fuck are you telling me that for?
Mhm.
Obviously, I
Yeah.
might die all day, every day. And like, so I hear what you're saying. That might weigh on her conscience at some point, but I don't think it would have made a difference to tell Land that or Bukama.
Yeah.
They probably already assume it. They might have already assumed that being in that palace even before Moraine showed up. So I don't know.
Yep. All right.
Agreed.
You guys ready for the last chapter? Well, before the epilogue. The last real chapter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chapter 26. When to surrender. So we start in Land's
Never.
point of view.
Who surrenders?
Never surrender.
No, I mean, honestly, I didn't feel like there was a moment of surrender in that. So I'm a little, that title confused me a little bit.
It's from the quote in the very end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Anyway,
So
we're in Land's point of view. Land's making his way through the palace, trying his best not to be seen and avoid Eden, because trying to avoid her. We did skip over all the giggity points with the scratches in his back when they, you guys just, yeah.
That's how good these chapters are.
Good.
That's how good these chapters are. There's so much other goodness. We don't need to fill time with that. Just everybody knows it was there.
Everybody
Right.
was there.
Look,
And
I'm
you can
tired of
assume
getting, I'm
how
tired
we
of
would talk
getting
about
the stuff that people say on our.
You know, we are who we
It
are.
would be such
No.
a great podcast if they wouldn't talk so much about the innuendos and the sex scenes. And
Robert wrote it. Come on.
Robert wrote
Right.
that shit,
If we were
y'all.
truly digging to get this stuff, maybe I'd be like, oh, I should grow up a little bit. But seriously, yeah, Jordan puts that stuff in there.
Jordan puts it
Yeah, I
in
could be like, you know what? I know all about that. What Land was getting is nothing new. Like, it's just that's life.
Yeah. If anything, I thought it was funny that Moraine was like, oh. Like, come on now.
When you know how to hold the black rock, like that's just an expectation.
I don't know. There's probably guys that enjoy that and ask for it, but I've never asked for it. But there's been times where afterwards you look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, it's like a.
I don't want somebody manhandling me in that moment. I would feel manhandled if somebody like grip me and just start pulling me in. No, nah, no. I need you to be soft and supple. Just
like I said, I don't go like sign me up. This ain't on my list, but
no, I'm gonna be very unmanly at the end because I'm gonna cuddle up next to you, like I'm gonna curl a little ball and get you. Like, let me be the man in that moment. Like, I don't want don't be making me bleed and none of that stuff.
Okay, so without
real men don't bleed.
Without getting a 1-star comment from the gallery, how do I phrase this? So it depends on the moment.
If they've made it this far into the podcast and now they're writing their review, you know what?
Okay. So if you're getting scratched up because she's reeling you in the beginning, the middle, anywhere in between, I see your point, Chris. I'm talking about the ones you get at the end. Kind of, she didn't intend to. There's a loss of control.
Yeah, and
those ones moments, are a little more exciting.
That's when you get bald spots.
That's it. So if they're straight claw marks, yeah, she was being too aggressive too soon. But if it's like, yeah, those are the good ones. All right,
those
sorry.
Are the ones that people think
are
really. They're like, are those stretch marks? Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, as he's making his way down the corridor, he ducks behind a statue as soon as he sees Marine and Ezelle appear.
Oh no, I'm the small spoon. You misunderstood me.
You misunderstood.
Yes, I could have told you that.
Yeah. He sees them appear, and he ducks behind a statue and continues to sneak around really quietly. And he's like, "Yeah, there's no way they saw me. I'm too good at this. I'm stealthy."
How many times in the series does Lan find out he's not as sneaky as he thought he was?
Oh, yeah, man. A lot.
Yeah, poor guy.
But still, he thinks he's sneaky.
He is pretty good at it, but
he is pretty good at it.
He's not the best, apparently.
Compared to Aes Sedai, he's in the power.
Yeah.
Right.
Just creeping on the dollar.
So after kind of snooping on for a little bit, they leave, and Lan goes to start down a flight of stairs, and suddenly feels someone push him from behind. And he goes limp just in time to spare his life. And as you know, if you're ever falling and going limp, it's actually a good strategy. You know, tuck and roll, or also
you don't want to bang stuff.
You don't go stiff. They actually say that in car accidents. It's also a reason
that's why the drunk drivers aren't
actually survive a lot, is because they pass out.
So loose and limber,
yeah, they pass out.
It's better.
If you brace for impact, all your bones break.
Yeah,
Or when you're jumping off a jet ski at 70 miles an hour, go with it. Skip, flop around. Don't try and get rigid.
Like the first car accident that I was ever in, and Ian was riding shotgun, and
he just looks at me and goes, all right, hold on, let me go sideways. He's like, do this. We're still sliding. And he just goes, nothing else I can do.
I did have anti-lock brake. Because I hit the brakes, like it went to a full skid. It was a wet road. And I just turned to Ian and just go, boom.
I even had time to go, what the bam.
This is gonna happen right now. Like I just like, yep.
No weaving, no nothing.
No.
To be fair, like there was no control.
There's nowhere to go.
The awareness, the level of awareness. So I had a meeting like that. I had a moment like that this weekend. We're like driving in Mint Hill, and so like I've gotten used to Charlotte driving. People are dumb as out here in Charlotte when it comes to driving. Like, so you can go 90 miles an hour and have zero expectation of anybody braking anytime soon, unless you hit that traffic. And well in advance when you get the traffic, because you can see the red lights for miles. So I'm sitting here in Mint Hill, and this person just like brakes too fast. And I'm like, oh, and it registered here but it didn't register down there. And it takes longer for stuff to get from here down to these big feet. So I look at Chanel and I'm like, oh, and she's like, I saw the look on her face. Luckily, there's a median to the left, like at the yellow line median.
Yeah.
So the reactionary, like at least my hands reacted, and I like whipped it into the median and hit my brakes so I wouldn't continue into the oncoming traffic. And I like looked at the steering wheel and I looked over at Chanel, and she was just like dumbfounded. I'm like, huh, they braked real soon, didn't they?
Yeah, I remember what he said after that.
What my fault?
Yep. You should have hit her with the shit happens.
That's kind of what it was like.
One of the worst accidents I ever saw. I didn't cause it, but I was part of the cause, if that makes sense.
Yes.
We were driving down the interstate. It was through a construction zone, so there's walls on the side, no median. There's no pull off. And a car cut me off, and I just tapped the brakes. I didn't even slam on the brakes, but the guy behind me was not paying attention and falling too close, and he slammed on his brakes. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and there were at least 3 cars flipping behind me as I'm just driving. I'm like, that
Alan
sucks.
presses firmly on the gas pedal.
Man, I'm out of here.
Sticks his head out the window.
Sucks to be you. No.
I look over as we're driving down the road. I look at Chanel like, I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to pay attention to the road again. She's like, I said, because I almost caused that accident. She's like, I noticed that, but I wasn't going to say anything because you avoided it very well. So I just gonna let it go. I was like,
yeah.
What else?
You chalk that up as a near miss. It's a chance to learn and do better.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did the same thing, Alan. I actually made somebody hit this weekend. So it's twice.
They didn't hit me, but the rearview mirror carnage was pretty intense. I was like, well, that interstate's shutting down for a while.
Getting onto like 77 from where we live, exit 38, you have to like merge over into the right lane, and everybody knows it, or you have to take the quick pass. See, people will get into the left lane and speed and try to cut in front of you in the right, and at the last minute, if they can't get in front of you, they'll take the quick pass lane. Well, there's still a little sliver of hope that they'll be able to cut it in front of you. And I'm that asshole that when we get to the sliver, we'll move in to the middle so that I'm driving in 2 lanes.
Yeah.
It's like you're not getting in front of me. I waited.
Not a last second dip.
I waited my turn.
It reminds me of the worst traffic scheme or traffic pattern in Hampton Roads, bar none. Well, no, it's not. Norfolk has some pretty bad ones. No, that's bad too. Mercury Boulevard coming off the interstate and trying to get the Coliseum, turn the Coliseum. It's like you have to cross like 6 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
It's like 6 lanes.
The person that created
and there's never an opening.
There's never an opening.
No.
You just sit. People just come off there though and just don't care and just start going for it. And just like
if you're not Catholic, you won't make it across, because as you're coming off the off ramp, if you're not giving yourself the hominy dominies, you're not going to make it all the way.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious. Even though you
be on
can just
somebody's
go up
prayer
and kind of
list.
circumvent around.
That?
No,
Who
we're
designed
not doing
that?
all that.
Because everything's on the left, and you come off on the right, and the exit to the left is across 6 lanes. It's like right there. Like
It's horrible.
It's 2
Anyway.
turn lanes and 4 straight, two turn lanes to the right, 3 straight lanes, 2 turn lanes to the left. You're literally
As wide as it gets.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Anyway, so
books,
Lang gets pushed by the
books,
one power.
Remember, guys, just saying books.
Books.
This is all about land.
Yeah, dude, we're talking about car accidents.
Yeah.
This has everything to do with being pushed.
Yeah.
So Lang gets pushed by the one power.
He has that realization as he's falling. He's like, you know what? Nobody's able to sneak up on me like this. Clearly, it's the one power.
Yep.
And then he like smacks the ground face down. And this is that moment where, listening to what was said in the future, it's like Land should have died here.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Right.
So
And
what?
servants come up to him like, they're
dying?
like, you must have some crazy luck, like the fact that you didn't die. And a man comes up, like, run up to Land's like, you need to come fast, Lord Pakuma, like your man Pakuma, come quickly, Lord. And
you know who the real Dragon Reborn is. It's Land the Man Dragon.
The man dragon.
That'd be cool. if that was
It
the
would
case.
Yeah.
But
what if we've been following
not
Rand
the
this
right age.
whole time, and the whole idea behind Rand was to just like convince Lan to be the man?
That's true. I mean, some would have to be off with the foretelling, but with foretellings and prophecies, there's always room for it being like misinterpreted or something.
Yeah.
Maybe the moment that baby was
Especially 'cause we
born
know
signified the beginning of Lan's path to become.
Lan's been having dreams about the man with the baby.
Yeah.
So this is where I thought it could also be Taviran.
And
Because Lan
did a
was
good job
going to
in
look for
Rand.
his man because he wanted to talk to him about Rand. He didn't know who he was, but he was having dreams about a man carrying a baby on his back. So this could have been the Taviran saving him all the way from that far of a distance. From a distance.
Yeah.
Or Tam time traveled.
Caught him before he smacked too hard. He still let him smack just a little bit, but not too hard. And then let him drop.
Yeah. This is not the first time in this book it's been commented he has a Dark One's own look.
Truth. He took out 6 dudes.
He did.
Exactly. I mentioned that. Like,
That's
why I'm like, does he have the power?
Taviran.
Or is he Taviran? Which one?
I didn't, when I was reading this, like I said, I thought the power. But now the more I think Taviran, I'm thinking Taviran. And in the bonding moment, I think Moraine covers it up so nobody else can tell. I think she's got herself a pocket Taviran.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she got herself a pocket male channeler.
Maybe. Or remember, he has his sword is one of the ones that was forged by Aes Sedai. So maybe there's some power within the sword itself
that protected him. I mean, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that answer.
It's on the table.
Yeah.
I'm not vouching for it, but
I like the pocket rocket. Like, I like the idea that, Lan could be the hidden ace.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Lan at this point runs to go try to reach where Bakuma is, and he did. Like did. Dagger in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lan's like, Lan's like, the only way this could have happened is if it was Aes Sedai, because nobody's sneaking up on me, and nobody's definitely gonna stab Bakuma like that.
Yeah.
Plus, what he just went through, it's all right. We're actively being attacked here.
Targeted.
Yep.
And the first thing in his mind is that bitch Moraine. She set me up. Yep. So he runs straight to her quarters, busting.
And I still stand by what I said before, though. Rare moment, because of the bond between these two, rare moment of emotion taking over. I think even without hearing an explanation from Moraine, if he had time to process this, I don't think he would have blamed Moraine, or at least come to the realization that Bakuma would not want Moraine to be blamed. But it is Aes Sedai foolery that led to this. So, and it's like his best bestie ever. So,
right. Yeah. R.I.P. Bakuma, the last of the faithful 20. Yeah. So, bust into Moraine's room. It's like, they immediately tells her, Bakuma's dead. Someone tried to kill me with one power. He said, the only Aes Sedai's in here are you and Moraine. I saw her with Isel. So that leaves only you. Like, what? Like, and Moraine's like, Moraine is Black Asha then. And Lan's like, oh, wait, no, it's you. And it's like, and she's with Isel, you said? And she's like, yeah. He's like, we need to get her away from her right away. Like, we gotta move now. We gotta move now. And Lan's like, I'm still confused. What I thought stop talking. We need to move right now. Where is a place where it could be quiet? Where no one.
Where would they go? Yeah.
Where'd they go? And Lan's like, over there. Like this one walkway.
I know the spot.
Also Lan replies that all Aes Sedai are dangerous. Besides, he just saw Isel hurrying by Breeze and Derek. and Moiraine's just like racing, just like, yeah, we got to go. So, yeah, they start to
Sprint.
sprint,
Take
yeah.
off.
They take off.
Go.
They go to Breeze's private balcony. And when they get there, they come around the corner and Moiraine,
It's already happening.
It's already happening.
People getting people getting choked like by Darth Vader. Just
Yes, I actually had that exact. I had that same thought in mind, so I'm glad I'm not the only one. I can see people like hanging in the air.
It made me giggle a little bit. I feel bad.
You have failed me for the last time.
I want to see this. Didn't they do like animated versions of this stuff? I want to see this animated, or I want to see it.
They did. They did the What Origins in the first season of the TV show, and then they said they're going to do more. And they said they were going to release something. They had a release date and everything, and then they just went quiet for a while, and then they made like a Twitter message saying something like, "The intern spilled the coffee on it," and that's the last thing anyone ever said of them. Like, they just kind of went away.
Apparently, there's a potential lawsuit, and they were like, "Yeah, can't do this." Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
I would love to see this come to life because this scene in my mind just looks super cool. It looks something right out of like Deathly Hallows, like Voldemort's got Harry like up in the air, and
Well, all of our other run-ins with Black Aja, they've still been super covert and sneaky as they try to do their stuff. And this is a moment where this Black Aja is like, okay, this is my mission right here, not the big picture. Right here. She thinks she's got it. So she's just don't care at this point, unloading. So a neat battle scene we don't really see anywhere else.
There is a graphic novel in New Spring.
Oh, I would read that.
Yeah, graphic novel, New Spring, the graphic novel, Wheel of Time. 8 colorful issues of New Spring were released in 2005 and 2010 that tell the search of the Dragon Reborn, the Adventures of Moiraine. Yeah, so there's a graphic novel out there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. So everybody's hanging in the air by their ears or by their throat or by their feet, and Moiraine hits the corner and she throws a spell real quick, and it's like,
it doesn't work.
This is not going to be easy.
She's too new. She's not new to channeling, but she's not. This is a full-fledged.
She's not as strong.
She's been around for 100 years.
Yeah, and she tries to throw the shield.
Magic
and she noticed she does a quick like look around this balcony, and of course the 3 are under captive. You have Breeze, Derek, and Asyl, and then she looks across the balcony, and there's Reen just sitting there chilling. Like he's like, "You're a fucking dark friend." It's like,
Lan's like, "I got this one."
Yeah,
which really sucks because that was Lan's friend.
Yeah, and Marine turns and says, Marine turns to tell Reed, "It's like you did a good job killing that spy." But Kama is like, "Why don't you take care of the younger one now?"
Oh man, that would have like hurt my nerves so bad to know, and that's why Bukama had like the surprised look on his face.
Yeah,
because it was his own friend that killed him. Like, God, I'd have killed him too. Not Bukama, but the friend. Bukama should have gone out like a G though. I'm sorry. Like in my mind, Bukama would have killed him back.
Right, like you go and they're both dead.
Like you stab me, but then I stab you back. Or Bukama in my mind, and don't get me wrong, I know that other man that's like a skilled killer as well, so he probably hit the carotid artery or whatever it is there, and
right to the heart or something.
Kill them right away. But in my mind, Bukama's gonna reach in and snatch your soul out of your body or something. Like
those scenes where
Bukama's gonna take him with you, like
Those scenes where dude gets stabbed in the gut after a long sword fight, and you're like, "Oh, he's closer. Dead." Right? And then they pull you in and slit your throat and take out 2 more people before.
Or like he reaches into your chest and pulls your heart out. Like, that's what I want. I needed gore. I wanted blood. I wanted vengeance right away. Instead, we have Lan fighting him, and we don't even get enough of that fight scene. We get enough to be excited.
Yeah,
and in my mind, it was a much greater fight scene.
Oh yeah, because they're Reen's actually a little better, according to Lan, according to what they'd seen, than Lan at this point. So as they're fighting off to the side, Moraine and Marine just engage in their own battle. You know, she's trying to throw a shield. She's trying to break the weaves of air towards the captors, and she's desperately trying to do
fight
anything.
and also rescue people at the same time. It's like,
which is really tough. And Marine turns to throwing fireballs at Moraine, and Moraine blocks those. But like she's like, that would have taken me out, she thinks. And even Marine's just like, it's like, I can heal you after I burn you, just so I can, you know, question you later. So like they're talking while they're doing all this too. And after a little while, Marine just basically is like, this is taking too long. She grabs Derek with the one power and just throws him over the rail.
That part. I was like, bro, why did you start with the kid? Like, well, it of course it makes sense now that we know why after our puzzle master sorts through it all. But in that moment, I was like, yo, she is for real a dark friend. She could have thrown the throw the father first. I know we don't want anybody to die, but at least give the kid a chance.
Yeah.
Nah, she went right for the jugular. She was like, you got saved once. Let's see if you get saved again.
Yeah.
In my mind, they have wands. I don't know. I know they don't have wands. They've never had physical tool. Like they get to manipulate magic
except for the rods.
Well,
have you seen there's a reading on, I think it's on YouTube Reels, where it's like, if you replace wand with Willy, it'd read Harry Potter.
No.
And Dumbledore took out his Willy.
We know too much about Dumbledore at this point. My wand is in my Willy's in my umbrella.
Harry held the elder Willy softly in his hand as he raised it.
All right, stop. Oh no.
I try to know I did not take it that far off.
No, it does. You have to listen to it. It's hilarious.
That's pretty good. It's not gonna lie. I'm
Ron
go
broke his Willy.
Like that.
Oh yes, that was the worst part of it all.
Oh, it's great.
Ron taped his Willy up, and it worked.
It kind of worked.
Anyway.
He had some issues with it after that.
Hi, Iris. We appreciate you.
Go check it out. It's great. So
Willy repair shop.
Anyway, so
they make a pill for that.
Yeah, they do. So after killing Derek, Moraine screams, and it allows Marine to shield Moraine by throwing a shield at her. And Moraine's like thrown to the ground and realizes that she can't embrace the source or anything, and she feels groggy and can barely get up.
Dusty, crusty, and musty.
Yeah. And she does glance over at Lan and Rena at one point too, and sees that Lan has bleeding from his head. It's just coming down his face.
Things aren't going well at this point.
Things aren't going well at all.
I was thinking Swan was going to jump in and help save the day.
That's
what I thought. That's what I thought the turn was going to be.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, so I expected it, but then I didn't expect it. I was like, if she jumps in, then where's the closeness going to be established? Where's the thanks towards Lan going to come from?
True. Yeah, this needs to be their thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And as she's pretty much helpless, lay on the ground, Marine turns back to Breeze, and he just stays completely like just staring at her. I mean, just murdered his son and just doesn't show any emotion at all, just emotionless hatred. But she lifts him up and throws him over the rail too.
Yeah, he felt like a G. He made me proud. He was like, I will not scream. I will not falter. He was like, I love you.
It reminds me of the scene of in The Expanse where not to give too much spoilers, but there's a character in The Expanse that gets spaced, and he just sits there and just takes it.
Yo, that's the last episode I saw. Straight up G. After that, So here's my issue, and we're gonna take yet
Don't
another
beg.
detour because I
Let's talk about the
saw
books this month.
that fuck the book. I saw that episode, and it's the last episode of that season. And then I found out that there wasn't going to be a season beyond season 6. And I looked at Chanel and I was like, we could be done right here now. We literally had that conversation last night.
Is that the end of season 5?
Yeah. There's 7
Okay.
seasons. No, it's end of season 4, right? Because there's
That's
2
in
seasons after. So like
Season 5 is so good. It's in season 6.
and I'm sure they are, but like the fact that I don't get a season 7.
Well, in the books, so there's so now we're doing a little expanse talk. So the books are the first 6 books, are the first 6 seasons, and then in the books there are 3 more books in the series, but they take place like 30 years later. So
finishing the expanse is a finale.
yeah, so it is a finale. It's not like they stopped it early. They wrapped up the first part of the book series.
Oh, see, and now when I went online, well, that's what I get for listening to people that have not read the book. Okay.
Yeah. People are like,
Either
there's
way.
more to the experience, and they cut it off early. Kind of, but not really. Like there is more to the story, but it takes place like 30 years
Either
later.
way, my dude went out like a G, and I was like, you know what? I could be fine having ended on that note because he made me proud. There were so many moments where I thought he was going to turn out to be like somebody I'd hate, and every time I thought I was about
He has
to
his
hate
character
him,
flaws,
no, he's perfection.
but he is who he is. Once you accept him as the whole,
Perfection. Yeah, like you. He reminds me a lot of you.
and I stand by what I
Compliment.
said. You gotta look at me as a whole. If you catch me on my bad days, you're not gonna like
You have a
me,
few
Pete.
porpoises.
Yeah.
I like to use multiple holes.
So Breeze goes out like a G. Just
He's flying, he's falling down like this.
What is it? The Grand Theft Auto fall, where you get to the end of the stage and it starts to like, man, reminds me of Words of Radiance. Yeah. Yes.
Can you imagine him just like shouting just ridiculous ranks on her just as he's falling? Your breath stinks, you know.
Yo, mama.
Where'd you get them shoes? The thrift store.
So Moraine wills herself to get up to her feet, even though her head's ringing. She feels like she's defeated at this point, emotionally, physically, every which way. But she just determination and will bring herself to the feet. And just as Moraine starts to lift Isel into the air, and Moraine lunges towards Moraine and stabs her.
The second badass killed by a knife.
Time out. Did Moraine ever give the lecture about how swords are useless? I know Swan gave one.
Yeah.
Did Moraine give one?
I don't think so. That was a Swan.
Okay, good.
In the show, it was Leandrin who gave the same speech, but in the books, it's Swan who gives the Swan.
Right. Yeah. So I was thinking about this. Like, props to Rand. Let's jump back to him and teaching his Ashaman, like, bro, you need to learn the sword. Might have been for different reasons, but like, anyways, I always thought this, right? Like, when Swan gave her thing about how the sword's useless and blah blah blah, or Leandrin, like, there's gonna be a moment where you could still use it. Timeout was only 39 seconds, Ian. Shit. Well, this is a commercial timeout. Okay. Anyways, so I mean, good on her thinking on her feet, but gosh, why don't the Aes Sedai like train this way? Maybe not in swords because you want to be stealthy with it, but throwing knives and daggers should definitely be like a plus up for every Aes Sedai. That should be part of their training.
Yeah. Well, Moraine takes her out. Lunges her, stabs her with a belt knife right to the heart. Immediately, the power is released from her, from her. The shield's released, but also the flow of the holding up Izel's released, and she lands on the stone railing,
seriously.
And Moraine goes to grab her hand and tries to pull her up, and straight up,
she's too bloody.
classic trope scene.
Yeah, dumb. Wedgie save lives, guy. Your weak hand always grabs the hand. The strong hand goes over, grabs the belt. Wedgie save
glad you
lives.
said
grab
that.
my
Like,
grab
I
my
never
strong
thought about that.
hand. Grab my strong hand.
Goodbye.
It's gross though.
Okay, that's not where I was going. But
If this girl had any inkling of the one power, you would think it would have kicked in there.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
she couldn't. I mean, at this point, she is
Not
she's-
Moraine, but the other chick, the one that was actually falling.
Oh yeah, good point.
Like, this is the best time for that power to kick in. Maybe it
Yeah.
saves your life. Maybe it gives you just a little pop up to like help Moraine get you back over the barrier or whatever. Like that.
Yeah.
well, maybe she did, and she's just one of the weak ones. Maybe like
And
her feet got tickled a little bit, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's all she gets.
I mean, Moraine tries desperately to grasp at the source and just can't because she's determined just to save one person out of this. But sure enough, she slips, starts to fall, and Moraine's watching her fall, and Lan comes over and moves her away and says, "Never watch a death you don't have to." Which is
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? This is why she and Rand get along so well.
Yep.
That started her list.
Yeah.
Because though she's not necessarily ruminating over the names, from this point forward, she's seeing and hearing their
Mhm.
deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and they're torn. So like she's starting to realize her mission.
Mhm.
I don't think she realizes yet it's going to be 20 plus years,
Yeah.
but she's definitely dedicated to the mission the same way Rand is. And you
Mhm.
got to know that there's going to be casualties along the way. That doesn't mean you have to like it or accept it, or it doesn't mean you don't do what it takes to, protect the innocent.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And then at this point, once she's able to kind of walk again, she goes over to Marine and also sees Marine laying dead on the ground and asks Lan about that. And this is where the chapter title comes from because his arm's broken or whatever, just barely hanging on. And, she's, I guess you are the better swordsman. She's like, no, he is much better than me. He just thought that once I lost an arm, I'd surrender. The thing he doesn't know is I only surrender when I'm dead. And that's when to surrender.
Yeah, it's like he talks too much.
Yeah.
Take
He
advantage.
talks too much.
I've come out on top in a couple of fights where they assumed I was done,
Mhm.
and I probably should have been.
And-
I shouldn't show them my cards, but if we ever get to that point, better make sure I'm unconscious, very well tied up, or dead.
I did. Yeah. And once she's able to embrace the source again, she heals Lan and then turns to Marine's body and burns it up to nothing.
My name is Landman Dragarin. You killed my Bakuma. Prepare to die.
Yeah.
Lan's
And Lan's like, why are you burning the body? And she's like,
She's like, I gotta
Aes Sedai
pick
need to sneak
power.
their secrets. We can't let people know that Black Aja exists.
Yeah.
Think of what that will do to the Aes Sedai as a whole. People can't trust the Aes Sedai. We have to get rid of the
It's
evidence.
genius. The Black Aja are just absolutely genius. We can infiltrate. We can do whatever the hell we want. And you cannot put any of the blame on us because if you do, you have to admit weakness
Yeah.
and flaw and infiltration. And you take away all of your own credibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Lan replies with "You're a hard woman, Moraine." She's like, "I'm as hard as I must be."
All right, so
Almost hard as a black rock.
check this out. There it goes. I'll let people finish giggling. Think of it this way.
I can't keep it up. Mine won't stay up.
They make a pill for that. So you look at the U.S. government, right?
That's what she said.
Sorry, I was a little late on that.
If you're not a conspiracy theorist, you at least have a friend that has a few conspiracies about the U.S. government. And then there's also this great stand-up comedian that talks about if you don't believe in at least a couple conspiracy theories, come on,
Yeah.
you think the government's batting 1,000. Anyways,
I mean, the aliens.
There's no one in like a
Aliens.
dominant position in the government that flat out admits to the things that are effed up about it. But what if the president tomorrow comes out and it's confirmed by like a couple Congress members and everything?
The
They're
aliens
like,
are real.
well, not aliens are real, but like, all right, so here's the thing.
They had a whole congressional hearing about it. Like, if
has government across the board has been infiltrated by like this certain group, like in the bureaucracy and everything. And here's the trouble: like, we don't even know who they are.
Now we
So
can't
like
find
some
the,
of us are trying to help, but like also someone's trying to help are actually going to stab you when you're not looking. Like that would be, I mean, how many people would go, okay, well, you know, we're just going to keep paying our taxes and we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep respecting laws and respecting the government. Well, hopefully you figure it out. Like once that's out, it's over. You know,
you think, but they've released stuff before and people go, eh.
all the
But
time.
that's what I'm.
All the
I
time.
think so. Now we're getting into the conspiracy part. That's intentional in how they release, and that's look at this.
It's almost
so we can do
intentional
this.
for me all the time, but
Yeah,
sometimes it
the
just
intentional release.
It's tough, man. Intentional release is tough. It's it takes a lot
I've
of
been
training.
caught off guard with it.
It takes a lot of practice, but it can be done.
Let me tell you, if talking about Star Wars, if I was a Force wielder, exactly,
Anyway.
Chris, just like that.
So you guys ready for some epilogue action?
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. The epilogue. So the next morning in the palace.
I don't feel like I got a finish from this book, by the way. There was no release.
Yeah, I mean, so Robert Jordan did say he was planning on writing 2 more. This was supposed to be a trilogy.
He could have done 2 or 3 of his full length books on their whole backstory. But at least one full book. Like there's more that could have.
Yeah, but he was planning on writing a trilogy. I mean, that's in his notes. It just never happened. So, but the next morning at the palace.
Well, hold on. No, one more thing. Because think about it. When we finally get to Land and Moraine, I remember talking the shows really did a good job of this, of how they communicated with each other without saying a daggone word. Right. So from here until there, they've been through, there is a story. There's a big story. It's not they were just riding around swinging and missing trying to find this kid. A lot happened. We just don't know what that is. And that's sad.
Yeah.
Release the notes.
Yeah. Oh, you can go read all the notes. The notes are all in the Citadel.
Do they have a bunch on this backstory of? Okay.
There's a lot of them.
One day I'm going to dig into that.
You can go read them. They're in Charleston at the Citadel in the library.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. You can go down there. You can't take them out, but you can out of the library. But you can.
Hey, we're going to field trip there when this is all done.
There you go. So Moraine searches through Marion's belongings and finds nothing really. Returns to her rooms. She learns that Ina's son was born in a farmhouse 2 miles away from Dragonmount, ruling out the possibility of being Dragon Reborn. Moraine tells Swan about everything that happened. And
so they're on the same page.
Yeah. Asks Swan to solve the puzzle for her about, why was this happening?
They don't know when, they don't know the age.
Yeah. And she tells Swan how Derek was one of was the one that Miriam wanted to kill the most. Because it was Derek. It was Derek that she told Isel to bring to her. Derek who she killed first. Marina also tried to kill Lan.
Yep.
Lan is said to be the luckiest man in the world. And Derek actually had recently survived a fall as well that should have killed him.
Yeah. And they attributed that to Lan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So that must have been like the one part of the secret that the Amberlin didn't give up before she died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, so what is it? Swan begins to think, pacing back and forth. And then it comes to her. She says she never went to Raheen Moraine. The Black Aja knows the dragon was reborn, but they don't bloody know when. Maybe Tamara managed to keep it back, but maybe they were too rough and she died before they could pry it out of her. So that has to be it. They said that has to be it. That's why they're trying to kill young people. They don't know that they're born on that day, so they're just killing young people that it could be. And they're like, that means thousands could die, like tens of thousands. Like we need to do.
I mean, it's good for them, but it's worse for everybody else.
Yeah,
it's population control.
Yep.
Are we back into conspiracy theories? Are we going back into that?
Not quite.
There are people that
I can go down that rabbit hole. The Georgia Guidestones that mysteriously blew up a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they decide that Swan will return to the White Tower because she'll have access to the blue Aja's eyes and ears because she was assigned to that. And Moraine will continue her search for the Dragon Reborn. And then they part ways. And then she's like, I still have some unfinished business with Land. Swan's like, he left like an hour ago. She's like, oh, I gotta go then. I got some stuff I gotta take care of.
This is great.
Yeah. So she rides out as fast as possible, like asking all the caravans, have you seen a Malkir man going by? And finally she features one cart and he's like, yeah, the guy up in the hill over there. Like, and she sees a little puff of smoke from a campfire and goes up next to him. And he's just sitting there poking the fire with a stick.
I thought I was done with you.
Yeah.
Or I thought you were done with me.
I thought you were done with me. Like, what's all this about? And then, like, rather than trying to, like, I guess he's, tells her, I want you to be a warder. And he's like, no, hell no. And she's like, listen, we're fighting the same fight. I know you're trying to go to the Blight to fight. That's not how we're going to win this fight. Like, I'm just going to lay it all out for you. Like, here's the foretelling. Yeah. The dragon's been reborn. This is the fight. Like, you want to fight the shadow? This is the fight.
If she like everything, she's probably sharing with him. I can't tell anybody else this.
Right.
Because we don't know what way's up, what way's down, who's where.
Yeah. And after telling him everything, he's just like, I think he agrees. He's like, yeah, you're right.
This is the one.
This is it. So he immediately kneels before her. She bonds him and says, I don't know how long it's going to take. We're going to have to go search everywhere. This might take years, but maybe the whole world with the search. But we need to find him. How cute is
it that before she has a chance to really tell him what the bonding is about and blah, 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 he kneels and gives his oath first.
Yeah.
And in his mind, like it's already locked. It's on lock.
Right.
Yeah.
His mind, you don't need to do anything else. And she's like, there is a little bit more to the process.
Yeah.
But that was, yeah.
And they get to share each other's thoughts real fast and get each other's emotions. And it's like, and she's like, yeah, this is the order I need. And he's like, yeah, this is the mission I need. Like, they had that understanding.
It confirmed their decision. They were like,
yep.
Well, yeah,
this is it. This is what we have to do.
And so remember when Min and them were bonded with Rand and they had a moment of, like, how could you live with this and da-da-da-da-da? Like, between these two, they recognized some of the pain and struggles and everything they went through, but there wasn't that, oh my gosh. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, like some of their struggles are similar enough that while they're not the same, like as they felt it, they were like, yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
almost got him with the. We love you, Chris.
Just get really quiet and put them like we all left.
Just let it record for another 30 minutes.
Really quiet.
It's like that time. Y'all know that I'm an old man.
Yeah,
old man. It's all good. I am ready for bed.
Them making the trip and going out and hunting together, finding the one. Again, I felt like this was a cop out.
Really?
And I already gave my piece. Yeah. Like, and again, you explained he meant for it to be a trilogy. And so it made sense to me. But to stop it right here, I didn't get enough of their development together to see how they went from, Lan just obediently doing as told because he figures it's for the best of Lan, to Lan anticipating what he's going to be told and getting it done. And then even have the boss to question.
Yeah. Can I ask a question here, or you got more?
No, go ahead. I'll listen.
What was Lan's oath? The Makiri one.
I don't remember it exactly, but I know he feels like he's bound by it still.
Oh, we know Lan.
To
He
fight
is
the
bound
shadow, it's like to protect Malkir or avenge it if you cannot. There's a whole thing, the Malkir oath. I can look it up.
Right. So my
he
point
also gave an oath to Bakuma in regards to protecting
Moraine.
Moraine, yes.
Well, what I was gonna go with, so there's that. What I was gonna go with is the oath for the Makiri thing or whatever. It's been such a heavy burden because he is a principled man, he's oathbound, but he probably never saw a real way to fulfill that oath. It was the most important one given to him, not just by his kingdom, but his family. And he's, the last one, and this is the most important thing that he could carry out for all of his ancestors and everything. And up until this point, there was no way he could do it. The best he could think of is, well, I guess I'll just go into the blight and I'll keep swinging my sword until I die. But that's not going to help him fulfill that oath. And talking to Moraine, I don't think he just tucked in and was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll do this. I think there was a moment of, holy crap, this is how I do that. Mm-hmm. So I think he gets a lot out of it too. I still am very disappointed in not getting more.
Yeah.
Remember at the end of the first 3 Mistborn, I told you I couldn't, I had to take almost a month before I started reading anything else because emotionally I was just so I didn't know how to move on from that. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel that here. There's more that I want, but I know there isn't more, and I'm like, hit you in the gut.
Well, and I have all the faith that Alan put this in here because we're gonna get Moraine back. We're gonna get Moraine back, and we're gonna see a happy version of Lan, and then they're gonna talk a little bit about their past. And I got a lot of faith that we're gonna get her back in some way.
I still believe it. I'm holding on to
it. Maybe Lan and Nynaeve have a baby, and they name it Moraine, and then it has all of Moraine's memories. And
what if she comes back as their child?
Yeah, maybe that's what's gonna happen. And the book time skips 20 years. And
nice.
There it is. Someone found it. To stand against the shadows so long as iron is hard and stone abides, to defend Malkiri as one drop of blood still remains, to avenge what cannot be defended.
Yeah, so tell me, without shacking up with Moraine on this mission, how else could he ever fulfill that oath?
Yeah,
feel for it.
There might be other ways, but this is the big way. This is it. Mm-hmm. This definitely covers it. No questions asked.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Favorite character? Let's go.
Not fair. I want to give a list of them.
I know. You can. That's fine.
In no particular order. Well, no, this is in order, but I got to give 3. Mm-hmm. Lan, Moraine, and Bakuma.
Okay.
Lan and Bakuma are the obvious reasons. Moraine, semi-obvious, but I really, how we talked about her thinking on her feet, taking action. I mean, really, she did a good job getting the right people in place at the right time. She was even doubted by Swan, and she still pushed with doing things her way. And in a way that, if I was in that situation, it'd be very similar thought process and courses of action. So,
right.
Huge props to her.
Okay.
And when her most powerful weapons were taken from her, she still had it in her to grab that dagger and be like, I ain't done yet. I'm still breathing. I'm not done.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then fourth place, dude, that went down like this.
You took mine.
Oh, sorry. Well, I took them all basically.
I was like, I don't know who's it gonna be. I was like, the G who just fell
G.
without saying anything. I don't know. We could give it to the kid as well. I mean,
Not
lived
really. He was a little annoying when you think about it.
He was very annoying.
Man, I have 1,000 questions for you. Blah, 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 blah. He went over the wall and we all went,
That's messed up. I'm
No
giving
more
it a
questions.
chance just for that.
Yeah.
What was his final question? We need to put that on a t-shirt.
Good Lord. Oh.
I'm sure we'll find someone in this book. Why?
Swan also sacrificed herself to the footman.
Yeah.
She was
dude.
undercover.
I was gonna say maybe we give it to Swan for her diligence and her ability to evade and not get in any trouble as she started tracking people down. All the trouble she had was because of Moraine.
Okay.
Swan's course of action was really good too. I mean, if there was slightly more time or if Moraine's didn't work out, that was a very good plan B. So
Yeah.
divide and conquer.
Yeah.
She was the flanking maneuver.
Yeah.
Moraine went right up the middle.
Yeah. I think I would give it to Moraine this chapters as well, just because.
Yeah, I'll give it to Bakuma.
Bakuma. Yeah.
He tried.
He did. Good deal. Well, next time on the Will Reads, we'll be starting Crossroads of Twilight. This thing. We're doing the prologue, which is like this much of the book. It's a long prologue.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it is. So we're gonna do that in 2 weeks. So and it might not be. It probably won't be on Monday. It'll be on some day, and we'll let everybody know on Discord when we're gonna be recording that live. We might do some Cosmere content in between. We'll see. A lot of it depends on moving schedules and lots of other stuff going on, but we'll get there. But yeah, make sure to tune in for that because even though Crossroads is it's a book, it's not bad. There's some moments, and
we're gonna need you to keep me awake.
Yeah, we're gonna need
more
chat too.
of you.
And we got some fun stuff planned for this book too. So
I might get back on the wine during this book, so I have more to say. It might not be relevant, but I'll have more to say.
Yeah. And
The Black Rock.
you can do it.
I was about to, and then he said Black Rock, and I was like, no,
No.
because then I can't go back. And I want to
Thank
keep
you
my
for the
options
best
open.
wishings. Oh,
Yeah. All right. Well, how we can be found is at the Wheel of Reads, thewheelreads.com. It's our website. You can find links to everything, such as our social media that I don't nearly post on as much as I used to because I don't really use social media anymore. Sorry. Like, I just kind of.
we all fell off. I literally logged out.
really just don't use social media at all, even for personal stuff. Like, I just don't. I know I should because I have a podcast, but I'm like, nah. I don't have time to. Plus, everything's kind of weird. Social media is just kind of weird.
Yeah, once it became X, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Well, Twitter, yeah, Twitter's become really weird, and then everything has like it's just like
yeah, I'm good.
Like Facebook's all ads now.
Cool. It is. It's just
and I just don't like every time I log on there, I'm like ad, something I don't care about, ad, another thing I don't care about,
TikTok rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, I don't know why I opened this app in the first place. So yeah, but maybe eventually I'll start using social media again, do more posts there. But I'm still using Discord to at least do announcements. So go check out there to find out all the stuff that are happening. And yeah, AI controls it all. It can be taught. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And that's all I got for this week, guys. So
until the next time.
peace.
Okay, bye. Thank you for watching The Wheel Reads.
Until next time.
Okay, bye.
Get your Coast Guard certified life-saving
Sure.
device ready and
Sure.
strapped on.
Oh, where are we doing tonight?
What kind of strap on you talking about? Sure.